In the split second before you make a choice, everything is still open. The email unsent, the door unopened, the idea unspoken. Your hands hover over the keyboard, your breath catches, and a single question freezes the moment. What if I'm wrong? The room is the same, but the air feels heavier, as if doubt has weight. Now rewind that moment and change one detail. Your posture stays steady, your eyes don't dart for permission, and your finger presses send without hesitation. Nothing external shifts yet, but the signal does. One decision, one unwavering yes, and the next sequence begins to move. At the core of our existence, there is a frequency that governs not only how we experience life but also what we create in it. This frequency is certainty, an unwavering belief in ourselves and the universe, a trust that what we desire is not only possible but already on its way to us. Yet, in a world filled with doubt, fear, and uncertainty, it is easy to forget how powerful this frequency truly is. We've all been there. Those moments when we question our path, when doubts creep in, casting shadows over our dreams. We wonder, am I doing this right? Am I worthy of this? These thoughts create a heavy fog of uncertainty, blocking us from seeing the reality that is waiting for us. The one where we're aligned, where things flow effortlessly, where dreams are not just fantasies but manifestations in motion. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is simply this one key ingredient? Certainty? What if the way to unlock your future, to manifest your dreams, lies not in pushing harder, doing more, or wishing louder, but in tuning into the frequency of absolute certainty? It sounds simple, even too simple, but that is precisely the beauty of it. The power of certainty is not about achieving some rare state of enlightenment or mystical power. It's about aligning your inner state with the flow of the universe, shifting your perception to the point where you no longer question the path you are on, because you know without a doubt that it's already unfolding. Certainty is not about being rigid or controlling, nor is it about ignoring the challenges that arise along the way. It's about deep trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process. Trust in the infinite possibilities of the universe that are already conspiring to bring you what you need. It's about stepping into the knowing that the reality you desire is not a far-off dream, but a potential waiting for you to claim it. Imagine, for a moment, living your life with this certainty. Not constantly second-guessing yourself, not being pulled in a million different directions by external opinions and societal pressures. Instead, imagine a life where you feel deeply aligned with your purpose, where you trust that the universe is always working in your favor, even when things don't go according to plan. This is the life of certainty, when your energy is attuned to your desires and the universe responds in kind. But how do we cultivate this certainty in a world that often feels uncertain and chaotic? The answer lies in understanding the nature of reality itself. We live in a quantum world, one where everything is energy and everything is interconnected. Our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, they are all frequencies, vibrations that interact with the quantum field. In this field, there are infinite possibilities, infinite versions of reality, waiting for us to tune into them. The key to accessing the reality you desire is to become a vibrational match to it. You must align your frequency with the version of yourself who is already living that reality. And this is where certainty comes in. When you are certain, truly, deeply certain, that your dreams are already yours, that the universe is already aligning everything in your favor, your vibration shifts. You move from a place of doubt, fear, and resistance to one of pure, unwavering trust. You stop questioning, stop worrying, and start allowing. Now you might be wondering, but how do I get from doubt to certainty? How do I overcome the fear that constantly pulls me back into a state of uncertainty? The first step is recognizing that your doubts are not your truth. They are merely conditioned thoughts and beliefs that you have absorbed over time. These doubts are not who you are at your core. They are simply the echoes of past experiences, fears, and limiting beliefs that have been ingrained in you. In reality, certainty is your natural state. You were born with it. Think about a child. Before society begins to instill fears and limitations, children are naturally confident, certain of their worth and their desires. They don't question whether or not they can achieve something. They simply believe they can. This is the purity of certainty. Somewhere along the way we forget this truth. We get caught up in the limitations of the world around us, and we start doubting ourselves, our abilities, and our worthiness. But what if you could return to that state of certainty? What if you could tap into that inner knowing and allow it to guide you, rather than being ruled by doubt and fear? This is where the transformation begins. To shift from doubt to certainty, you must consciously choose to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. You must dismantle the fear-based stories that have kept you stuck in a reality of limitation. The process of shifting into certainty is not a one-time event. It is a journey, a practice. Every day you must make the choice to trust, to believe, and to know that the universe is always supporting you. It's about shifting your mindset from a place of lack and scarcity to one of abundance and possibility. It's about affirming to yourself, every single day, that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable. This doesn't mean that challenges won't arise. It doesn't mean that life will always be smooth sailing. But what it does mean is that you will be equipped to handle whatever comes your way with a sense of peace and confidence. Because when you are certain, you are not shaken by the external circumstances. You understand that everything, even the challenges, is part of your growth and your journey toward your desired reality. Certainty changes everything. It's the frequency that shifts you from a life of struggle and resistance to one of ease and flow. When you are certain, you align with the highest version of yourself and the universe responds in kind. Doors begin to open, opportunities arise, and your dreams start manifesting in ways you never thought possible. You move from being a passive observer of your life to an active creator of it. This is the magic of certainty. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment, or hoping that things will fall into place. It's about knowing, in every fiber of your being, that the moment is now, and that everything you need is already on its way to you. When you shift into this frequency, you begin to see the world through a new lens. One that reveals endless possibilities, one where you are the creator of your own reality. The key is to trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your ability to create. Trust in the universe's timing. And most importantly, trust that certainty is not something you need to find. It is already within you, waiting to be awakened. All you need to do is remember it. When you do, you will unlock a reality that is far beyond your wildest dreams, one that is waiting for you to claim it. The concept of certainty is powerful, but to truly understand its potential, it's crucial to delve into the science behind it. At its core, the universe operates according to the principles of quantum mechanics, a field of study that reveals a deeper, more interconnected reality than we experience in our everyday lives. In this realm, everything is energy, and the way we perceive and interact with this energy shapes the world around us. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not just fleeting mental constructs. They are frequencies that have the power to influence the quantum field, which in turn shapes our physical reality. To grasp the full impact of certainty, we must first understand the fundamental nature of the quantum field. According to quantum mechanics, everything in the universe exists as energy, vibrating at different frequencies. At its most basic level, every particle, every atom, is in a constant state of motion, interacting with other particles in ways that are both complex and subtle. What this means is that reality is not as fixed as it may seem. Instead, it is malleable, fluid, and responsive to the energy we project. The quantum field is often described as a vast ocean of infinite possibilities, a space where all potential outcomes exist simultaneously. This field is not a static entity but a dynamic one, constantly shifting and changing based on the frequencies that enter it. It is through this field that we can influence the world around us. Every thought, every belief, and every emotion we experience sends out a vibrational signal into the quantum field. This signal, in turn, interacts with the field and begins to attract the circumstances, people, and experiences that match the frequency we are emitting. The power of certainty lies in its ability to create a coherent, focused vibration. When we are certain about something, we are emitting a clear, strong signal into the quantum field. This signal is unmistakable. It carries the frequency of trust, confidence, and alignment. And just like any other frequency, it begins to attract similar vibrations, drawing experiences that match the certainty we hold. On the other hand, when we are uncertain, our signal becomes scattered and weak. Doubt creates a dissonance in the energy we project, sending mixed signals into the field. As a result, the universe responds with a lack of clarity, bringing us experiences that mirror our confusion and indecision. But how does this all work on a deeper level? To understand this, we must consider the concept of wave-particle duality. In quantum mechanics, particles like electrons can exist as both waves and particles. This means that the very act of observing or measuring a particle can influence its behavior. In other words, reality is not fixed until we observe it, until we collapse the wave of potential into a specific outcome. This concept is known as the observer effect, and it demonstrates just how much our consciousness can shape the world around us. The observer effect is crucial in understanding how certainty influences our reality. When we are certain about a desired outcome, we are essentially observing that outcome into existence. We are collapsing the wave of infinite possibilities into a single, concrete reality. The key here is that certainty acts as a focused lens, directing the quantum field's potential energy toward the reality we wish to create. The more certain we are, the more focused our intention becomes, and the more likely it is that the universe will align with our desires. The science behind this is supported by the work of physicists like Dr. Joe Dispenza, who has explored the connection between neuroscience, quantum physics, and personal transformation. Dispenza's research demonstrates that our brains can rewire themselves in response to our thoughts and beliefs. When we consistently think and feel with certainty, we begin to create new neural pathways that reinforce this belief. Over time, this certainty becomes ingrained in our subconscious mind, where it starts to influence our reality on a deeper level. It's no longer a matter of hoping for something to happen. It becomes a matter of knowing that it will. Another key element of the quantum field is the concept of entanglement. In quantum mechanics, particles can become entangled, meaning that they are connected in such a way that the state of one particle directly influences the state of another, no matter how far apart they are. This phenomenon, known as quantum entanglement, illustrates the interconnectedness of all things. The idea that everything is energetically connected means that the thoughts and emotions we send out into the field can ripple across time and space, affecting not just our own lives but the lives of others as well. This interconnectedness is central to understanding the role of certainty in manifestation. When we are certain about our desired outcome, we are not only aligning with the quantum field within ourselves, we are also tapping into the collective energy of the universe. This collective field of energy responds to our frequency, amplifying the power of our intentions and drawing everything we need to us. It's as if the universe conspires to bring us the people, opportunities, and resources that match our certainty. However, the quantum field does not respond to wishes or vague desires. It responds to the clarity of our intentions, the strength of our belief, and the coherence of our energy. This is where many people struggle. While they may desire something, they often do not possess the inner certainty that is required to manifest it. Without this certainty, the energy they send into the field is diluted, and the results they receive are often inconsistent or frustrating. It's not enough to simply hope for something to happen. One must truly believe on a deep, cellular level that it is already on its way. This is why certainty is so transformative. It acts as a filter, allowing only those beliefs and desires that align with our highest potential to enter our reality. It clears the path for our true desires to manifest by removing the blockages of doubt, fear, and indecision. When we align ourselves with certainty, we are essentially removing the barriers that prevent the flow of abundance, love, and success into our lives. We are tapping into the natural law of attraction, but with a level of focus and intensity that makes the process far more effective. The beauty of certainty is that it doesn't require us to control every aspect of our lives. It doesn't mean that we need to force outcomes or manipulate situations. Instead, certainty allows us to surrender to the process, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. When we are certain, we don't have to push or strive. We simply allow the universe to work its magic, knowing that what is meant for us will always find its way to us. This is the power of the quantum field. It is not a passive, abstract concept. It is a dynamic, responsive force that is always in motion. And when we learn to work in harmony with it, when we align our frequency with the energy of certainty, we begin to unlock a world of infinite possibilities. The reality we desire is not somewhere out of reach. It is already here, waiting for us to step into it. All we need to do is become a vibrational match to it. Certainty is the key that unlocks the door to this new reality. It is the energy that allows us to break free from the limitations of the past and step into a future filled with limitless potential. When we learn to cultivate certainty within ourselves, we become the creators of our own destiny, shaping our lives with the power of our focused belief and unwavering trust. The journey from uncertainty to certainty is not just a shift in mindset. It is a profound transformation of the self. Imagine for a moment that your life is a reflection of your inner beliefs. The doubts you carry, the insecurities you harbor, the fears that lurk beneath the surface, they all manifest in your external reality. You feel stuck, like you're treading water, never moving forward, always questioning if you're on the right path. This is the old self, the self trapped in a cycle of doubt and fear, constantly questioning the future and doubting your own worth. Now, contrast that with a new version of yourself. Picture someone who walks through life with a quiet confidence, knowing without a doubt that every step they take is aligned with their purpose. They don't question their path because they trust it fully. They don't second-guess their decisions because they are in harmony with their inner truth. This is the new self, the version of you that has embraced certainty, the version that has stepped into the flow of the universe and is manifesting their desires with ease. The transformation from the old self to the new self begins with the decision to let go of doubt. Doubt, in many ways, is a self-imposed prison. It limits your potential and prevents you from taking bold action. Doubt stems from fear. The fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, the fear of not being enough. These fears keep you trapped in a cycle of inaction, constantly overthinking and second-guessing yourself. They prevent you from fully stepping into your power and embracing the certainty that could change everything. But the moment you decide to release these fears, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You begin to realize that doubt is not an inherent part of who you are. It is a learned behavior, one that has been conditioned over time by past experiences, societal expectations, and the opinions of others. This realization is the first step in your transformation. You begin to see that your true self is not the fearful, uncertain version of you, but the confident, certain individual who trusts in their ability to create their own reality. The old self operates from a place of limitation. It is constantly concerned with what could go wrong, what others might think, and whether or not you are worthy of success. This self is ruled by the ego, the part of you that is afraid of change and unfamiliarity. It resists new opportunities and avoids taking risks, preferring the comfort of the known, even if it leads to stagnation. The old self is driven by external validation, waiting for approval from others, seeking reassurance before taking action, and constantly questioning whether the path you are on is the right one. The new self, on the other hand, is free from these limitations. This self is aligned with their higher purpose and trusts that the universe will provide everything they need. They no longer seek validation from external sources because they have learned to validate themselves. They operate from a place of inner certainty, knowing that their desires are not only valid but inevitable. The new self moves forward with confidence, not because they have all the answers, but because they trust that everything will unfold exactly as it should. They are no longer paralyzed by fear. Instead, they embrace uncertainty as an opportunity for growth. One of the most powerful aspects of this transformation is the shift in perspective. When you are stuck in doubt, everything feels like an uphill battle. It's as if the universe is working against you, throwing obstacle after obstacle in your path. You feel drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your true purpose. But when you step into certainty, you begin to see the world differently. The challenges you once feared become opportunities for growth. What seemed like obstacles before now appear as stepping stones on your journey. You realize that the universe is not against you, it is always working in your favor, providing the perfect experiences at the perfect time to help you grow. This shift in perspective is not just an intellectual understanding, it is an emotional and energetic shift that changes the way you interact with the world. When you are certain, you move through life with ease and grace. You are no longer attached to the outcome of every situation because you trust that everything will unfold as it is meant to. You stop forcing things to happen and instead allow the flow of life to guide you. This doesn't mean that you become passive or complacent. It means that you become a conscious creator, working in harmony with the universe to manifest your desires. Building this certainty requires practice. It is not something that happens overnight. It takes time to shift from a state of fear and doubt to one of unwavering trust and confidence. But with each step you take, you move closer to the new version of yourself. Every time you choose certainty over doubt, you reinforce that belief within yourself. You begin to recognize the patterns of fear and resistance that once held you back, and you consciously choose to release them. This process is deeply transformative because it involves not just a mental shift but an energetic one. When you begin to embrace certainty, you are changing your vibrational frequency. You are no longer sending out mixed signals into the quantum field. Instead, you are emitting a clear, focused signal that aligns with your desires. The more you embody this certainty, the more the universe responds by bringing you opportunities, people, and circumstances that match this vibration. The new self is a self that takes action but not out of desperation or fear. This self is motivated by a deep inner knowing that everything they desire is already on its way. They don't feel the need to force things because they trust the timing of the universe. They are patient yet proactive, taking steps toward their goals, knowing that every action they take is aligned with their highest good. They have let go of the need to control every aspect of their life and have learned to trust the flow of events, knowing that they are always in the right place at the right time. This shift from the old self to the new self also involves letting go of limiting beliefs. For many of us, these beliefs were instilled in childhood or shaped by society's expectations. We were taught to be cautious, to play it safe, and to avoid taking risks. But the new self understands that growth only comes from stepping outside of the comfort zone. This self embraces uncertainty because they know that it is through uncertainty that new possibilities emerge. They are not afraid of failure because they understand that failure is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. The old self is often trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and fear of failure, but the new self sees failure as a necessary part of the process. It is through trial and error that we learn, grow, and ultimately succeed. The new self is not deterred by setbacks. Instead, they see them as opportunities for growth and improvement. They trust that every experience, no matter how challenging, is a gift that will ultimately lead them to a better version of themselves. As you make the transition from the old self to the new self, you begin to step into your true power. You recognize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances. Instead, you are the creator of your own reality. You have the ability to shape your life with the power of your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions. When you embrace certainty, you unlock your full potential, and the universe responds by aligning everything in your life with your desires. This is the beauty of certainty. It transforms your life in ways you never thought possible. When you shift from doubt to certainty, you become a magnet for the experiences, people, and opportunities that align with your highest good. You no longer feel stuck in a cycle of frustration and confusion. Instead, you move forward with confidence, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way to you. The old self, full of doubt and fear, fades away, and the new self, grounded in certainty, steps into the flow of life. This transformation is not just a mental shift. It is a complete rewiring of your energy, your thoughts, and your beliefs. And as you continue to embody this certainty, you will find that your life begins to reflect the changes you've made within yourself. The universe will start to mirror your inner state, bringing you the experiences, people, and opportunities that match your new vibration. This is the power of certainty, the ability to create a life that is not defined by fear and doubt, but by trust, alignment, and unwavering belief in yourself and the universe. When you begin to embrace certainty, something incredible happens. The very fabric of your reality starts to shift. It's as though the universe itself begins to conspire in your favor, aligning everything around you to match the frequency of your belief. The process of shifting realities is not about waiting for some external force to intervene. It's about recognizing that the power to change your life, to step into a new reality, has always been within you. Certainty activates this power. To truly understand how certainty activates a new reality, we need to look at the concept of reality shifting. At its core, reality shifting is the act of consciously choosing a different version of reality, one that resonates more deeply with your desires and purpose. The reality we experience is not a fixed, unchangeable entity. It is fluid and responsive to our beliefs, emotions, and thoughts. When we change the way we think and feel, we are, in essence, shifting to a different version of reality. Certainty is the key to this process because it removes the doubts and fears that keep us anchored to the old version of ourselves and the old reality we are trying to escape. When you're uncertain, you are constantly torn between possibilities. Your energy is scattered, your focus diluted. The quantum field, responding to your energy, is uncertain as well, and so it mirrors that indecision, presenting you with a reality that is equally fragmented and inconsistent. However, when you step into certainty, you stop wavering. You make a clear, decisive choice about what you want and believe it is already yours. This unwavering belief creates a focused signal that the quantum field can respond to, pulling you into a reality that aligns with your vision. This shift doesn't require you to manipulate the world around you, but rather to align yourself with the version of reality you wish to experience. It's about shifting your energy so that the external world begins to mirror your inner state. The universe is always in motion, always responding to your energy. When you are certain about your desires, you are essentially showing the universe a clear picture of the reality you want to step into. The more certain you become, the more the universe responds with synchronicities, opportunities, and people who align with that reality. However, certainty is not just a passive act of waiting for things to happen. It's an active practice of belief. It's about maintaining that sense of knowing, even when things don't immediately appear to change. The moment you choose certainty, you create a new energetic blueprint for yourself. This blueprint is what the universe uses to bring the right circumstances into your life. As your energy shifts, so too does the world around you. New opportunities begin to present themselves, doors that were once closed suddenly open, and the people and circumstances you need to support your growth begin to show up in ways that feel effortless. The beauty of this process is that it's not about forcing things to happen. It's not about using willpower to control the outcome. Instead, it's about aligning with the energy of your desires and trusting that the universe will handle the details. Certainty allows you to step into the flow of life, where you no longer have to struggle or push against the current. You simply trust that everything is falling into place.